All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now a first down throw, McNabb. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw on 2nd down. Parker. Eagle pressure. Too much this time. Down he goes. Telvin Smith. Coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Parker now. Throwing on 3rd and long. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, they'll get the yardage, but they hate to see him take that hit.
You're always trying to cool off a big-time guy throwing the ball, but you have to know when to back off, pull up, and not hit him. There's the penalty.
A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. After the penalty, it's Jones. Room to run past midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. There he goes inside the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Ronald Jones, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Eagles. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football because, as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change at quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw on second, McNabb. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round!
From the gun, here's McNabb. And he connects with Ertz. And they get 14 yards there and a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Flex round! Flex round! Mike's 50, Mike's 50! Flex round! Flex round!
On 1st down, it's McNabb. Ertz over the middle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And put a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Here we go! Red 38! Red 38!
Out of the gun, McNabb. Trying to lay one up deep. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Strong right. Hey, we got 4.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones.
Reset.
And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big run there by Jones. Give him 58 yards on the ground. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone.
4 down. Check.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. The corner, Ronald Darby, comes up to get him.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
We got 3.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Ronald Jones with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Solomon Thomas in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
Ohio! 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 Flex round! Flex round!
To throw, McNabb. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. He's got a man complete. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. A big play there for Philly. 51 yards.
Flex round! Yeah, baby! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio!
On 1st and 10, McNabb dumps it off to Fournette. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Now it's McNabb, flushed out right, and he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Daniil Hunter in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow. Here's McNabb. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Fournette, a first down carry. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Let's get it. Hey. 4 down. Flex round. SOS. Check 37.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. He has been interception prone here in his rookie season. How patient can they be with him?
That is the key question, isn't it? A lot of it depends on the head coach, what type of defense you have, and just a general understanding of the makeup of him. But the bottom line is you posed a great question. Are they at the stage where they've run out of patience and now they get to demand production? Or do you continue to stay with him as well?
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Here we go. Grand 38.
Right back to him on 1st down. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Telvin Smith that time there to make the play.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd and long. Parker. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. That one good for 33 and a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Ohio! Ohio!
They go play action here on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half, because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Tight on the right. Here we go.
2nd down, McNabb. This complete left side to Aguilar. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. He's got daylight. The 40, 20, 10. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Tyreek Hill on the return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way, because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Now McNabb. And an alley to run. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a 1st down.
Flex round! Flex round!
McNabb to throw. Caught by the tight end Ertz. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
Come on, let's go!
McNabb. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11.
Hey, check. Mike 50,
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there for sack number 22 on the year. Just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001.
You got 4. You got 4. Key 23.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Parker to throw on second down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. That'll bring up second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. The Eagles on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. Flex round, flex round. Flex round, flex round.
They'll drop to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. He's picked off at his own 46. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. To throw is Parker. Looking to throw on second down. He finds Corey Davis. He got 29 yards that time. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Ohio! Ohio!
Looking to throw on second down. Parker going right side here, and that's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. This from 25 yards out. Carlson able to put this one through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive. Go into the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
Tyreek Hill set to return it. And now running right through him. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now Parker throwing on first down, dumping it off for Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Ohio!
Here's Parker on 1st and 10. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
A give to Jones. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down.
3 down. 3 down.
The Vikings on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16.
4 down. 4 down. Come on, let's go. Red 38. Red 38. Flex round. Flex round.
Parker now operating from the gun. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Holland. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Ohio. Let's go. What?
Parker on 1st down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Derek Barnett in there to get him. And that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Flex round. Flex round. Hey, 50. 50's the mic. 50's the mic. Ohio. There you are. Not today. Flex round. Flex round.
To throw is Parker. To throw on 2nd down. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The Vikings on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Come on, let's go! Red 38! Red 38!
Operating from the gun. Parker underneath for Johnson. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th.
Here we go!
They'll go with Jones. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now Parker looking to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Telvin Smith in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Here's Parker. From the gun, he'll throw. And this one is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? Parker now operating from the gun. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Tackle made there by Buda Baker.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Ohio! Ohio! We got 4. Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he is going to go down for the 5th time tonight, and this one is going to be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford any more at this point. And now out comes Minnesota. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, boys, we got 4 down. Here we go. What? 90. What? 90. Hey, let's calm down. Hey.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
But that certainly felt like an example of the defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, Parker. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Philadelphia. Getting set to take the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Throwing now is Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
First throw now for the backup Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. They'll pitch it out to Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long. Again, it's Jones. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round! Let's go!
Parker throwing on 3rd and long. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Looking to throw. Parker. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow. Talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Again, it's Fournette. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 9 good yards here on the run, and now 3rd down.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. Well, you won't hear any boos from this home crowd on that call.
No, not at all, and it's been a long day for this crowd. Waiting for this game. It's been a long evening as well. Finally, they feel they got a call.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up 1st and goal at the 5. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
Now Jones. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and the big yardage all night long.
They get it to him running left, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Ronald Jones with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here's the dangerous Tyreek Hill. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers.
Zoom.
Rodgers now on first down. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Blue 58. Hey, check. Hey, check 26. Check 3.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. Aguilar has it. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Rodgers now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Rodgers going to throw. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Here we go. 50. Mike 50. It's our time.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Got a man, it's Brashad Perriman. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Hurry up. Mike 50.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Yeah, baby. boys. We got four. Four down. He's moving. He's moving, boys. He's moving.
They'll go again to Jones. Oh, a nice spin. The 20. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big run there by Jones. 46 yards on the ground. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this.
Tight end right. Four down. Come on, let's go. What?
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times, and you can't give up a 4th one. And on that play,
and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The return man is Hill. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Hey, you're on an island over there. You're on an island. No. 319. Ricky.
Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. He'll set up the screen to Fournette. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock.
319. Hey, check 26.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. So on now the field goal team for Philadelphia. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. So on now the field goal team for Philadelphia. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Eagles have recovered. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they will indeed finish over 500 at 9-7. And that is maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but a better than average season nonetheless. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen, as it'll be a 7-9 season in the end. And they can take solace in the fact that this team never quit all the way to the end. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.